So I finally beat that Sonic Tokyo game, although to put it in heavy quotations, I didn't even beat it. Because I'm going to be honest, I kind of skipped a lot of the events because the game was just kind of pissing me off. But whatever. I actually played through Beats of Rage, not Beats of Rage, sorry, Streets of Rage X. It's on the Beats of Rage engine, which I wasn't really a big fan of because it was kind of more or less copy-pasted stuff, but I did play through it. It was okay, though I didn't really like how they basically turned Streets of Rage 3 into kind of a drag. Like, the whole appeal of playing through Streets of Rage 3 is that you have the alternate path you can take depending how you cleared stage 6. They basically kind of made them together, which doesn't really make any sense as far as story is concerned, and they also basically restricted the cutscene, the opening of the game, where it shows the bombs going off, which thankfully they used the fucking Japanese version, because the fucking American story was fucking stupid. Like, I think people really disvalue Streets of Rage 3 simply because of the localization. Like, the music is one thing, even though I personally like it. I don't find myself cringing listening to like shitty Lady Gaga, but whatever. But like, ah, crap, I died. Yeah, I can actually die if you run into a wall with very little health. It's actually kind of sad. I think I died like what 4 times now, maybe 5. Probably the only real thing that's kind of annoying about this game is that you have to basically defeat the enemies in various screens, and the game doesn't exactly tell you where they are, so you just kind of have to guess as to what happens next. But since you basically have to beat up enemies anyway, you're going to figure it out eventually. But I can see it being a little annoying, but it's not super cryptic to the point of, you know, being they have to look up a guide like that fucking Hell's Bells game, over the fuck it was, that shitty NES game that basically predates all the bullshit of games today. Probably loved by people that actually got a re-release, because people love to suck the dick of From Software games, but I'll digress. Shit, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Streets of Rage. So, I was playing through that, and I'm like, they basically kind of low-key degraded the game into like, kind of an actual slog. And I even played through the game using the Streets of Rage 3 things. There's actually a thing that basically lets you customize the game. And I guess you can kind of play the game like it's Streets of Rage 4, I guess, which I'm not really a big fan of that game. I guess the combat is okay if you want to look at it through a pure combat experience, but I just fucking hate how the game is structured. Like, it does not feel like an authentic Streets of Rage game. It's like, lives are based on the level you're on, and higher difficulties, you basically only get 1 life, and if you lose off, you're going to start all the way from the beginning of the fucking stage, which is fucking stupid. It's like, what the fuck? And I think I'm in the wrong area. But I'll go ahead and keep going anyway. But it's like, I just cannot stand how Streets of Rage 4 is structured. It's like, lives are tied to difficulty, which I think is fucking retarded. You have to unlock the actual arcade mode, which is basically how the game was meant to be structured. You only get 1 fucking credit. Why? And it's the fucking story is just complete shit. I know it's a Streets of Rage game, and it was a game on the Genesis, and most games even back didn't really focus on story, but it just makes no fucking sense in the Streets of Rage canon, or bare knuckle, whatever. It's just fucking stupid. Like, you cannot possibly tell me that fucking Mr. X was somehow able to give birth to 2 twins, who were the most uncreative fucking evil geniuses of a dude who actually killed people. And what the fuck did these 2 fucking modern design piece of shit do? Fucking hypnotize people with music and shit? And even making Max unplayable until they drip fed him as DLC? Are you shitting me? I fucking hate that game with every fiber of my being. Like, legit. Like, I would rather play through the American version of Streets of Rage 3 on the hardest difficulty than to touch that piece of shit game ever again. I fucking hate it. It is not a Streets of Rage game, I'm sorry. Or even playing through Streets of Fury EX. Now, that's actually a good game. And it's even made by the same people, but yet they basically took all the bullshit from Streets of Rage 3 and they just made it an objectively worse game. Of course, people like Mail basically suck at stick, which is funny. And even playing as a Streets of Rage 3 character isn't even all that fun. It's just not a good game. Not even the shitty survival mode they added was any good. I still somewhat prefer Shredder's Revenge, but it's not really much better compared to the originals, but it's at least better than Streets of Rage 4, so... I guess if I had to pick one of the two, I would rather play Shredder's Revenge, because at least it kind of feels like a classic Turtles game. It's just, of course, not as good as the others, but whatever. But anyway, with Streets of Rage X, I believe it's called, apparently there was a thing where they basically remade the games in the Beats of Rage engine, which is kind of funny because I don't think there actually was a Streets of Rage recreation for the longest time, despite using the same damn engine. And I think there's even people who did stuff with like King of Fighters. I think someone's done one with Mortal Kombat, which is interesting. But the main thing I was kind of curious about was to see how faithfully they recreated Streets of Rage 3, and like I said, they kind of fucked it up, and it really sucks since they took out all the cutscenes, so the story is fucking convoluted. They turned the stage where you have to rescue the dude, the general, I think. I don't know. It's been forever since I actually played it. They turned it into the most annoying fucking shit ever. Rather than actually being timed and trying to rescue the damn dude, you have to go through fucking 4 rooms to lower the toxic levels, and even then the toxic meter drains and it still emits poison for some fucking reason. I never got that shit. And they also changed some of the enemies around to be the most fucking annoying shits ever. Like, they make the whip girls, like, basically escape from your combo after 2 fucking hits, and they emit the Streets of Rage 1 streak, which is really specific and fucking stupid. They also made some of the bosses really fucking annoying, too. I forget which one it was, but they basically made the bosses like Streets of Rage 2, which is why I'm not really fond of Streets of Rage 2. Besides the fact that they kind of made the bosses just pure bullshit in Streets of Rage 2, like with the jetpack dude, and even fucking Freddy Krueger inspired motherfucker times 2. The claw dude, I forget his name. It was in the stage the fucking alien reference, which I'm gonna get to that in a second actually, because that's a pretty funny story about that actually. But they made the enemies even more annoying to deal with. Like, they just have too much options, and even with changing the setting to Streets of Rage 3, they do all these things like, sorry, they never did in the original game, and it's just not fun to play through a game that's basically made in the engine, trying to be like Streets of Rage 4, even when you play it like Streets of Rage 3, so it's all the bullshit, so I assume it wants you to use the default Streets of Rage X setting, which is fucking stupid, but whatever. But the main reason I kind of persevered through it is, one, you only have to clear the game once, which is good, because I don't think you could stomach for Streets of Rage 2. Maybe Streets of Rage 1, but I don't even know if they're going to incorporate the endings to that game, in which if you're playing a 2-player game, and one person says yes, the other says no, you basically fight each other, and then if you decline Mr. X's offer to join the Syndicate, he actually fights you and you get a bad ending. Of course, if you say yes, you get fucked, and you have to go through 2 stages again, which is pretty sad, but it's also kind of funny. But it was interesting, and Streets of Rage 2 didn't even have that. It was just the one ending. But whatever. It's, I still kind of prefer Streets of Rage 1 compared to 2, since it's not as slow-paced, which I just do not like slow-paced fighting games. Beat-em-ups. I do not like the slow-paced nature of Streets of Rage 2. But, getting back to Streets of Rage 2, when you actually beat the game once, you actually unlock the ability to play as all the enemy characters, which is kind of insane, actually. I think that's probably the coolest thing the game has to offer. And there's even a 4-player mode, so you and 3 other people can essentially go through the game all together, which I think is really cool, but it's not Streets of Rage Remake, and even some of the presentation in Streets of Rage X is so limited compared to Streets of Rage Remake. Like, I don't know about you, but being able to play as Zan and actually having proper electricity attacks with him has never felt so satisfying, especially the sound effect that when you get whipped by the electric girls in that game, or whatever. I know it sounds really fucking masochistic, but just hear me out for a second. Streets of Rage Remake literally added whole new sprites for the enemies and stuff, and even essentially adding in electricity spikes for nearly damn every character and actually made the damn electric attack for Xan actually fucking work. And it actually makes it a lot more satisfying to use, which is fucking amazing. So they kind of fucked that up, if I'm gonna be honest. In Streets of Rage X, they basically just flash yell and you hear like a spark sound. And I guess they even got even more lazy because they do that with the other ones too, which is just really stupid, but whatever. They just really fucked it up, and I don't know why they did that. I guess it's because of limitations or whatever, but I don't know. It's just really fucking dumb, but oh, this is the Ghost of Fight. Okay, good thing she came back. I'm just not really a fan of Streets of Rage X compared to Remake, and I still think that Remake is one of the best fan games besides Legend of Burning Fist. The Neketsu... I'm not gonna fucking bother pronouncing it. But it's just fucking annoying with how they basically did that. But going back to my other point, because I kind of derailed for a second, you can actually play as the enemies, and apparently they added enemies that I think are from the Game Gear versions, because there's enemies in there I've never seen before, and they even did sprites for the fucking Predator dude. And I even tweeted one Yuzo Koshio asking him, is this really supposed to be, was he supposed to be in Streets of Rage 2? Because there's a level in Streets of Rage 2 that's basically a blatant Alien reference. And I guess Sega worked on one of the Aliens games or something. And it's just a really weird, out of fucking nowhere Alien level in Streets of Rage 2. And apparently in the Game Gear version, you actually fight a dude who's basically the fucking Predator. Which all but confirms that there was probably supposed to be a Predator boss fight. But because of licensing issues at the time, they didn't include it, or they just included it in the Game Gear version, which is really specific, but not that it really matters since that version is a piece of shit, but it at least made for some extra source material, which you may have probably seen in Streets of Rage Remake, and even this one. But even with the fact you can play with 4 players and be able to play as any enemy, you cannot do versus mode, which was a thing very clearly added in Streets of Rage 2 and 3, so it is an actual downgrade, and even Remake having features that were added to make the multiplayer a lot more interesting, it's just kind of a shitty compromise. It's like, do you want to play 4-player co-op, or you want to play the actually fleshed out 2-player mode, but with a lot more going for it? Now, granted, I know that in one of the versions they took out the fucking volleyball mode, which I think was fucking stupid, but whatever. At least that's one of the advantages of playing games on PC, is that you can actually roll back updates easily for the most part. Unless you're playing Steam, in which you have to fucking look up a goddamn encyclopedia how to do that shit, but whatever. I had to do that shit with fucking Castle Crashes. This shit was so fucking aggravating that I almost fucking quit. But that's a different story for a different day. I gotta redo that anyway. I want to have like a vanilla save of Castle Crashers, the vanilla version. Mainly because they also took out a fucking minigame, which I don't know why. And I think the one they added was kind of shitty too. There's even a minigame that was exclusive to the PSC version of all things, which is really fucking weird. But yeah, that's basically my whole little rant about Beats of Rage. I keep fucking calling it Beats of Rage. That's the name of the fucking engine. Streets of Rage X. I mean, it's okay. I'm sure there's a lot of cool things you can do with it, but I still prefer Streets of Rage Remake. And just some of the changes they made, especially the enemies, is just really fucking stupid. Like, even the final boss in Streets of Rage 3 is just a fucking joke. Like, I don't know if there's a timer. If there is, I didn't really notice. It's just a fucking joke. And it also really annoys it, because apparently I even saw on some forum or something that even the developers of Streets of Rage didn't really care for Streets of Rage 2, which is basically why it got a completely different route. And it just fucking sucks that not one fucking person actually likes that fucking game, which is annoying as hell. Like, you don't even fight Neo X in the fucking game that he's in, but instead you fight him in fucking the robot the factory in Streets of Rage 1, and he's just as annoying as he was in the other game, except it's just out of fucking nowhere, and it's annoying as hell. Like, what the fuck? And honestly, I wouldn't mind if people were sucking dick at Streets of Rage 2, if people would at least acknowledge that Streets of Rage 4 is just not as good as 2, whatever. Like, I would definitely play 2 over 4, but it's just like 4 is just not this fucking masterpiece that people think it is, and yet here we are again. But I don't know, I just don't like Streets of Rage 4. But I guess playing through Streets of Rage X is okay, but I still vastly prefer Streets of Rage Remake. That shit will never not go out of style. They actually added new sprites to make the game look a lot more interesting. Actually decent remix music, and just a lot of things that make the game really fun. I also had to look up a guide because I kind of got messed up as far as tracking is gone, so I actually had to go back. Yeah, I kind of forgot the order to fight the dudes in, so you have to excuse me. Also, gotta look up the things for the weapon, I guess. Some of the weapons in this are kind of ridiculous. Crap, I didn't make it. The weapons are definitely kind of low-key OP. But it's still fun, honestly. That's what I really like about this game. It's simple, but it's honestly even advanced pretty much for its time. I actually really want to play that 3DS game. It's basically a hybrid of this game and actually being a full-on remake for the very first game. Like, I really wanted to for the longest time, but I never really had an actual 3DS until like a couple Christmases ago, and I haven't really used it much. Now with the fucking eShop being shut down, I guess Citra is a valid option, I guess. I think it was another game that Arc System Works made to try to be like some really weird fucking timer-based game like fucking shitty Majora's Mask or whatever, and it's just fucking weird, but I'll still try it, I guess. Usually a lot of these games are pretty consistent in quality. Although I definitely do feel that that one fucking game to keep re-releasing is just literally the same shit. Like, literally the same shit. I think one's like called River City Melee Mac or something, or Mock, whatever. Like, you can literally tell it's the same shit. Like, that's definitely their, the laziest that I think Arc System Works has gotten, is that they're literally re-releasing the same game, just with a different update or whatever. But whatever. I also find it funny that they actually use the art style of, like, this game, actually. And probably more so since the dude who actually pretty much created the series has died, which really sucks, honestly. Dude's a fucking legend. Made some of the best games ever, and people don't really talk about them that much. But even the old games was use the exact same sprites and maybe make a couple new ones to fit the art style, which is pretty funny to consider people really hate redesigns of characters, and yet Arc System Works just uses this style of art and nobody fucking complains because maybe it's just that damn good. I don't know, but I still enjoy this game, so I don't care. I mean, yeah, it's also short, but it's also an NES game, so it's not like a super epically long game or anything. I mean, it's kind of the point. Crap. Oh shit. I'm supposed to eliminate the enemies in the other area. Son of a bitch. Oh well. And I think 4 is at the... Yeah, I'm using no localized names. I don't fucking care. Okay, so I was kind of in the right track, but I kind of got fucked up too. How much money do I even have anyway? 500 yen. And yeah, so the culturally impaired, they actually did change the currency from yen to, American currency. So that's cool. Japan does use yen as the currency. So yeah, it's supposed to go together. But I'm gonna actually head to the next town so I can basically get my stuff back. Not have to run for all this crap again. Also, I was playing through both Renegade and the Japanese version of whatever. Like, I guess playing through wasn't completely as terrible compared to what I did the first time. I could probably do a whole video on that. It's like I was just being a fucking salt potatoes about it. It's like, what the fuck, dude? This game is fucking garbage. I still don't think it's anywhere near close to being as good as this game, or let alone even a good port or whatever, but at least it wasn't completely terrible, I guess. Like, the combat is still pretty good. It's just extremely fucking outdated, and I don't really care for it that much, but I wanted to try to do these in order, but I don't really feel like playing for the Dodgeball game. I don't feel like save scumming in Double Dragon, so I wanted to do something a little more simpler. And plus, I've been playing through, the fuck is it? Dragon Quest Builders. The game is actually pretty good. I'm playing for the PS4 version. I hear some people really like the sequel more, and I keep fucking falling into this hole, dude. I'm actually kind of digging it. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised how much I'm digging it, honestly. It's actually a lot more better structured than shitty Minecraft, because they're actually given a fucking goal, and that kind of makes sense. And plus, I'm kind of a sucker for the original Dragon Warrior, I guess. I don't really play too much, but it's kind of interesting, I guess. Because you got that wonderful Akira Toriyama art style that never goes out of style either. I'm also mainly trying to play through so I can do the creative mode or whatever it's called. But it's apparently a pretty long game, so I just hope that I get my money's worth out of it. Crap. Oh, he actually threw me to the next screen. It's actually good. Oh, I actually blocked. Damn it! What the fuck? Am I playing on normal or am I playing on hard, dude? Fuck. I might have to carry a weapon with me so I can throw something at them so I don't get fucked again. I've been going at it for about a half hour now, so maybe if I get some good progress done, I'm going to head over to the other version. I'll do the hard mode a different day. I don't feel like torturing myself with that. Well, I'm dead. Ugh. Oh, come on! Okay, just gotta get to the other side and I'm good. Oh, come on! No! Alright, I have to start using save states. This is really fucking annoying. Like, legit. I'm gonna have to start being a bitch. I really don't want to play fucking lame, but I'm gonna have to. Let's not penalize using save states, but still, I really don't want to be that fucking way. Like, I legit do not want to go back to my old Let's Play habits of like save stating like every fucking part or whatever the fuck. It's just lame. I want to be no low tier god. I actually really find it funny that there was a clip of DSP basically clowning on low tier god for the fucking Infinity Gauntlet toy. It's like, dude, you fucking blow bubbles. I don't think either of you are like really qualified to speak on this sort of thing. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Why the hell does he even do that anyway? Like, honestly, why the fuck is he blowing bubbles? That is literally a clown mentality, and you think that's like cool? I guess the vests kind of made sense, but it's like, why the fuck blowing bubbles? That's just honestly the most retarded gimmick I've ever seen. And he wants to clown on people for being clowns and shills and shit, and yet he's fucking blowing bubbles. Dude's almost in his 40s and he's fucking blowing bubbles. Probably to children who don't even know any better. Like, come on, dude, really? That is actually clown mode. But at least I actually made about using save states. I'm kind of happy about it. Oh, what the fuck? I guess I have to actually go back. Amazing. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna start using save states now because this is really fucking stupid. I guess that's what I get for talking about DSP. Fuck it. I still think that was really fucking dumb. So I have some sort of... What the fuck is it? A detractor civil war or something? I have no idea. Not gonna fucking stick my nose in that shit, but I just find it pretty funny, to be honest. But I guess find something else to talk about, I guess. I guess talk a little bit more about that Sonic Tokyo game, I guess, because I think I mentioned I actually beat that shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll change the rank if I actually do play the mini games. But it's just it was just fucking stupid. Like, ironically, the stream after, I just started skipping the mini games because they just got ridiculously harder after the one with the tennis, and I just got really annoyed. And the game really does kind of push that fucking participation ribbon mentality where it's like, oh, well, you get a prize for even playing. It's like, that's just fucking stupid. I mean, it's cool that you can kind of skip your way through it, but then what the fuck's the point of playing through the story mode just to get some trivia for whatever? I just think that's really fucking stupid. And I also got a fucking turbo controller for that shit, like actual Joy-Cons that have turbo on them, because I didn't feel like fucking switching over to the TV and just using the horror controller for that. I'm gonna have to use it for other games anyway. Maybe even games like Dragon Ball FighterZ if I feel like playing that shit again. Because I do want to see if I have all the skins unlocked for that shit, because that's still the only version of the game that has the fucking paraplay mode, and yet no other version I'll bother to add that shit. Which is really fucking dumb, but I'll digress. But the story was fucking stupid. The fucking... It's just half-baked mini-games in the Olympic setting, and it's just not Mario Party. I guess the boxing one is okay, and the karate one, but... I don't know, it's, I would like to be able to play the actual minigames with people and not just online randoms, but I don't know. It's, I guess one of the few things I can say about it mentioned on the media thread is that it's a complete game, I guess. That there's no shitty DLC or whatever, like you buy it and you can play the game, I guess, to your heart's content, but I'm sure the other games are better, but the main reason I was kind of interested in that one, besides the whole retro mode, which was kind of a joke anyway, but I'll talk about it in a second, was that the game doesn't have the... Okay, so these games, ever since the one in the Wii, they basically had these really shitty motion controls, and I just do not like motion controls, as you probably saw when I was fucking messing up royally on there. I just think it's a really stupid gimmick. Like, I like to play games with a controller, okay? Like, if I have to learn mouse and keyboard eventually, it's fine, but, like, I do not like having to use a really shitty gimmick that not even that many developers actually make good use out of. Like, it's just fucking lame. Especially the game is fully playable with a fucking gamepad. Like, if I'm playing a Zelda game and the game is made with a controller in mind, I do not want to play it with a fucking Wiimote or whatever the fuck. It's just really stupid. Crap. Damn it. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy the game. The story was fucking stupid, and I didn't really enjoy it. But at least I cleared the story mode. So if I want to like find the rest of the trivia, I guess it was okay. I guess the trivia was kind of okay, but I really wish they didn't fucking half-ass in the 8-bit section, because it's like there's basically this whole plot point where Mario and Sonic get trapped inside this really shitty game console, whatever, and the game tries to be all cute and funny with the fucking retro aesthetic, but it's just really fucking cringe when first of all the game that they're using is the Olympics, and yet they're using the year 1964, and yet they only really use that number just because Nintendo 64, and they couldn't even bother like making new sprites for like Mario and Sonic and the other characters. They just basically literally copied and pasted the shit from the NES and Genesis games, and it's just fucking stupid. Like, even as uninteresting as Mario Maker might be to some people, at least Nintendo actually made new sprites for all the various 8-bit games, and even the 16-bit game with Mario World, so they actually did put in effort. But Sega did not give any fucks about that, and that's really sad.